Well, while we wait for rain, we also know summer is just a few weeks away as local students are almost done with their school year. But with both Washington and Idaho moving closer and closer to fully reopening, parents and students alike are wondering what instruction will look like in the fall. Our Ian Smay is live in the newsroom tonight with what we know so far about the upcoming school year. Ian?
Yeah, good evening, Joshua. Students have had to deal with a lot of changes in the past 14 months. The school is switching between virtual learning, bringing students back into classrooms, and even hybrid models. And with Washington and Idaho both on track to being close to fully reopened by the fall, here's what we know about what school is going to look like next year. With more and more people in Washington and Idaho getting vaccinated against COVID-19, we are starting to return to things as they were before the pandemic, and local schools are no exception. Washington's Department of Health has already released guidelines for the next school year. All people on a Washington school campus must wear a face covering when indoors, as well as in outdoor situations where 6 feet of distancing isn't possible. Washington schools must also do the following to help limit the possibility of COVID-19 spread. Basic ventilation and cleaning plans must be updated. Washington schools must have a response plan ready for COVID-19 infections in students and staff. Schools must be ready to provide instruction to students who are forced to quarantine or stay home due to illness, and physical distancing of at least 3 feet or more in classrooms and 6 feet in most out-of-classroom scenarios. According to the plan, the physical distancing recommendation should not prevent full-time in-person learning come fall. As of now, COVID-19 vaccinations are not being required in Washington. But what about over in Idaho? State Superintendent Sherry Ibarra says Idaho isn't considering a COVID-19 vaccine requirement at this time. She also said she would like eligible students in Idaho to get the vaccine, but wouldn't support a law requiring it. As for learning models, most districts in Idaho are already back to in-person learning. In fact, as of Sunday, 108 of the 116 public school districts in Idaho were using in-person learning, with the other 8 using a hybrid model. For Idaho charter schools, 46 are in person, 6 are using a hybrid model, and 10 are currently online, including the Kootenai Bridge Academy in Post Falls. But overall in Idaho, districts have largely been making decisions on an individual level. We saw this in action this week in Coeur d'Alene, with Lake City High School putting a mask requirement back in place after a COVID-19 outbreak. Idaho is still technically in Phase 4 of its reopening plan, but Governor Brad Little's guidelines for Phase 4 don't explicitly mention schools. However, it does recommend face coverings for people taking part in gatherings. Now, what about our local colleges and universities? Washington State University is requiring students and staff to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination in order to take part in on-campus classes and programs. 10 miles down the road in Moscow, the University of Idaho will not require COVID-19 vaccination. Joining them are the community colleges of Spokane and Eastern Washington University. North Idaho College has also said it doesn't plan to ask for proof of vaccination. Other schools, such as Gonzaga and Whitworth Universities, have said they haven't yet made a decision. We should emphasize again that in Washington, schools will be expected to offer in-person, full-time learning, even with the distancing requirements. For now, with vaccine rates rising in Washington and Idaho, it's looking more and more like it may be close to normal when students return to classrooms for the 2021-2022 school year. Joshua?